Hi guys, Will here, and today what I've got for you is a Star Wars The Black Series video. We're doing the top 10 Black Series figures, and what you see in front of you is not my top 10. There's a bunch of figures here, for whatever reason, they didn't make the list, but are still good figures. It depresses me straight away that both Obi-Wan Kenobis are on there, because Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favourite Star Wars character. Just this one came out very early on, and I'll take them off quickly. This one came out very early on, and they could have done a lot better with it. I imagine they'll go back and redo it though, and just, this is a brilliant figure, but there's others I really like. This one's still a good figure though. Looks like Alec Guinness and whatnot. You know, it's hard to get them in any kind of articulated poses because of the hard plastics. That's one thing I would say about it. That's kind of annoying. Basically, Stormtroopers, there's a lot of different troopers on here. This one, for instance, is just a standard Stormtrooper. He didn't make the list purely because there's another figure, I think, that shares the same mould that's on here. But I might do like a separate trooper list because there's just so many of them. But it's like, you might have seen this one on my recent top 10 figures of 2019. I was really hyped for this figure when I got it out of the packaging, because I realised he has like articulated shoulder joints, like a butterfly joint. Which was new to me at the time, but there's another figure in my top 10 that also has that engineering, which moves him down. This is a really good figure. He would make my list because he's one of the best figures made, but what I'm trying to do with my list, okay, it's a very personal list. I'm not trying to do it subjectively. This is objectively. It's my list, my favourites, so don't cry if your favourite isn't on my top 10. But that is a good figure. Like I said before, I just really love the designs of the troopers in Rogue One. It's just, there's other figures, so these didn't make my list. They maybe will make a separate video if I do like just a trooper video. Same with this guy. I was really happy to get this guy, and he was quite hard to find. But it's just, the problem is with the First Order Stormtroopers, they really lack articulation, okay? These two figures right here, just really good figures. I feel like these two are underrated. So I wanted to just keep them on this spot here and say, I do actually really like these figures. I do think they're well done. Yeah, marks above the first releases of the characters, kind of. Oh, I hurt my arm, by the way. Not my arm, my wrist. Yeah. Then, I didn't include these, okay, right. First things first. I know a lot of people really love Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett. He's got a really cool design and everything. He looks really cool. I really do like the bounty hunters. But he had an impact on a lot of old trilogy Star Wars fans who saw the Christmas thing first time, the Christmas special and stuff. A lot of people have Boba really close to their hearts. He just isn't close to my heart. Plus, both these figures are archive releases, so I never had the original versions of the releases, so I just don't feel like I can put them in at this point in time. Although this Luke Skywalker is my definitive Luke Skywalker. It's the one I wanted for my collection, and really pleased to have it. So they're on the honourable mentions. And lastly, they come together, so I couldn't put them on the list. It's really a duo. You couldn't have one of these figures without the other, but they're just amazing together. Actually, going back and watching Rogue One, I never hated it. I've always thought it was a good movie, but I enjoy it more and more every time I go back and watch it. But yeah, there you go. So there's them two. Definitely worth an honourable mentions. And now we're going to get on with the actual list. Now this figure wasn't on my honourable mentions list, and it's not even actually in my top 10, But I just want to say right now, the reason I have this one in the video is basically because I like a lot of people, I imagine, I was a 3¾ inch collector. I was going to skip the whole Black Series thing. But it was this figure, okay, when this figure came out and I was able to buy it on the shelf, I got it home, I played with it and stuff. If you have this figure, you know what I'm talking about. But I just got it home and I was playing with it and posing him around, and this was the figure that made me sell all my 3¾ inch Star Wars figures and lean heavily into 6-inch figures. I was collecting Marvel Legends as well, so obviously that played into it. But it was this figure that made me go, right, okay, this is the standard. It is a staple in my collection because it made me swap scales. So definitely worth a mention. Right, let's get on with the actual list. And I've got to quickly apologise. It's just occurred to me now how dusty some of these figures are because I haven't touched them in a while. But at number 10 is the Battlefront 2 exclusive. I can't remember where it was exclusive to, but here in the UK you could only buy this at Game, and they were selling it for 30 quid. I found one with a broken box and got a really good deal on it. Actually got it down to £10. I just really like this one. One, because it's an exclusive, so you don't find it anywhere. It's a very unique figure because it was just part of a game. But I just love the black and red design that's going on with it. Can't really see super well, but there you go. I'll give you the best look I can. I just really like this figure, and once again, it was one that was really hard to get over here in the UK, so it was a massive achievement for me to get. At number 9, we have Elo Asti from Star Wars, from the new ones, basically Force Awakens. He was in The Last Jedi. He's called Elo Asti, which is a nod to the Beastie Boys' Hello Nasty album, I'm sure. And I always thought, I don't know whether it's translated or something, but I always thought it said licensed to ill somewhere on him, but I can't find it now that we're shooting this video. Typical. But yeah, so I really like this one just because I'm a big fan of rock music. I'm in a band myself, and I really like the Beastie Boys, so they named this character after the Beastie Boys, and he's just a really cool alien pilot as well. For the figures that was coming out around this time, I thought he was one of the best, okay? Best paint applications, best sculpt, and comes with a couple of accessories, so you can't really moan. But yeah, I really like that figure. At number 8, we have Jaina Solo, so she's from the Legends canon. I can't remember whether she was one of the fan choices, but I was really happy they made Jaina Solo. She comes with a purple lightsaber, has this awesome removable helmet, really nice head sculpt under the helmet, okay. Comes with her blaster as well. You can see it's stored there. I can't find her actual lightsaber hilt, so we're just using a Anakin Skywalker one at the minute. I can't remember where I put that. But she's still just a really amazing figure, and she's on my list at number 8. I actually had a QC issue with one of her feet. She doesn't stand all that well. There you go. I can't just put her down, set her down, and let her stand. She normally always falls over. But I mean, that's not the figure's fault. This thing, I bet, is phenomenal if you have a really good version of it with no QC issues. But I really like the figure, all the detail. She's got a pilot suit on, but because she's female, she has a really nice sculpt. It's very fresh on the shelf. There isn't a lot of figures that look like this. So that's purely just why she's on my list. I do really like the figure, though, for what it's worth. Alright, we are at number 7, and I can hear it now. All the fanboys in the comments screaming at me. Look, I was a kid when Attack of the Clones came out. I'd seen The Phantom Menace in the cinema and loved it. I'm a huge fan of the prequels, okay? Just deal with it. I don't want no hate in the comments. The last time I did a Star Wars video, I got all kind of comments like choke on my dad's pole and all that. Just forget it, okay? Like, people even sent me nasty emails. What's that about? Where's the love? I'm a Star Wars fan like you. Yeah, number 7, Jango Fett. I love Jango Fett, even though he just got butchered straight away. He has a really nice likeness there to the actor, Tamara Morrison. But, yeah, just really loved this figure. I remember going out all day, and there was quite a lot of choices as far as Marvel Legends and DC icons and stuff around on the day, and I was trying to decide something to buy. I only had enough money for one thing, and I saw this Jango Fett and just knew it was going to be the thing I bought, and ever since I've just never looked back. This is not just one of my favourite Black Series, it's one of my favourite figures in my collection, but I just have more of a tie to Jango than I do Boba. The other thing as well is one of my favourite games of all time was the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game for PlayStation 2 where you play as Jango Fett. I thought that game was awesome, and it just made me love the character more, like, because we're kind of led to believe he's a bad guy in Star Wars. He's not, he's a bounty hunter, so he works for himself, but I don't know, like, he was the protagonist of that game, and I really identified with the character. Okay, so at the number 6 spot, we have the Sun Trooper. That came out in the very first wave, and I actually went back and bought this, because I initially missed out on the Black Series. Like I said, Kylo Ren was the first one I got, and I had to go back after that and buy some. But yeah, really glad I got hold of this guy, because he is a phenomenal figure. He's the reason I didn't include the standard Stormtrooper. Just, I thought this one was better because, right, not only can you remove everything and just make him a standard Stormtrooper, that just looks a bit weathered. Like, he just comes with so much. There's a lot to look at with this figure, so I really do believe it's probably the best on here for as far as troopers go. Well, I don't know, we'll see. But he's the only Stormtrooper, technically, on my list. But I do really, really love this figure. I love the fact he came with so much. Obviously, there was, you know, you look at just all the figures from the first wave that came out, and it just looks like a really strong wave. But, yeah, really love this. In fact, I love it so much, I ended up picking a second one up. So that's why he's at number 6. Okay, at number 5, guys, we have Darth Vader. Now, this is the one that came out as the 40th anniversary early bird one, and then was just re-released in the line, which I got, the red box one, because I typically collect those red boxes. The best not Black Series, Star Wars Darth Vader figure ever. I don't care what anyone says. I don't like the Mafex one. I don't like all the plastic. I honestly really do love the soft goods. Look, if it gets in your way, just tuck it behind. At least there's no plastic skirt or anything hindering the articulation here. Look, this is just a really, really damn good figure, and it would have been higher, but there's figures I actually really do love more than this. And that is the only reason he's at number 5. Otherwise, he would be at number 1. Because I really think he's that phenomenal. And if I was doing like an objective point of view, which was what I think are the best Black Series made, he would be higher. I'm doing my favourite Black Series figures. So that is the only reason he falls lower. But damn is he a good figure. Do not miss out on this one. Because, you know, you'll never find a Darth Vader figure, the like of which, again, he really is just phenomenal. Honestly, he really is just that good. Okay, guys, at number 4, right, and I very nearly put him higher as well, because I'm quite biased. I just really love this figure, okay, but I love the Old Republic, so this is Darth Revan. Sometimes I display him with a green lightsaber as well. A lot of people had trouble finding this figure originally out in the wild. I didn't. I was very lucky to find this thing pretty much straight away. for a really good deal. I don't know why, but with Black Series figures, I have a habit of finding them with damaged boxes reduced, okay? I don't remember how much I got this one for, but I know he was reduced because the box was smashed in. I just love this figure. I really wanted to just do a review of it, but sadly my camera isn't amazing, so I couldn't do it justice. But I really think if you're only going to own like 5 Black Series figures, this one should definitely be one of them. It is just completely unique. Has really good. A lot of labour and love went into this one. I can feel that Hasbro were proud of this one when they made it. Just really good. Comes with both his lightsabers, red and purple. He has, like, Kylo Ren has soft goods on his hood. This one has hard goods, and I really love the use of cloth and hard plastic for this one. This is a figure done right, if there ever was one. If you don't have this one, I recommend picking it up. Some people can find this now quite cheap in England on like at the Entertainer and stuff, so if you can, then do it, and more power to you, because this one's a very special one in my opinion. I really like it. It was down to this one and another one that I was going to put at number 1, but I just like the other one a lot more. Alright guys, at number 3, I wonder how many of you saw this coming. If you thought you would see Darth Maul on this list, comment down below. This is just the perfect example of nailing a figure first time, okay? So, he came out very early on. He was one of the original figures to be released. Very hard to get. He became very expensive at one point. And it took me a long time to get this, and I found it in the Entertainer for £11, just before Christmas. Oh my gosh, right. 2 head sculpts, one with this hard plastic robe over it to create that. I like having him like this because I love that scene where he fights Qui-Gon on Tatooine. But I do display him typically both ways. Like I said, done right, first time, they fucking nailed it, right out the park. What a special figure. If you have this one, you know what he comes with. You know what I'm talking about. You know what poses you can get him in. He has every right to be this high in the top 10 list. And, you know, I am arguing with myself thinking, should he have been higher? He is really phenomenal. Obviously, I'm biased as well because I love the Phantom Menace. He is my favourite Sith, I think, or one of them. But yeah, Darth Maul, number 3, guys. How could I not? Let me ask you that. Okay, guys. Right, at number 2, the only Jedi on the list, Mace Windu. Oh my god, this figure just came out. At the time of shooting this, I've had this figure for a couple of days. And he is the best Black Series figure, hands down. He has a lot of new articulation points and stuff. So like his neck is on a dumbbell joint, I believe. I've never seen one like that. But just the range of motion and the attitude you get with him is amazing. Like, he has a neck joint. And the other thing as well is I was on about earlier. If you just look in there, you can see he has butterfly joints, okay? That's why I took the Patrol Trooper off of the list, and probably why he'll be replaced on my top 10 action figures list. Look, as far as it goes for posability and stuff, like, this guy has an amazing posability. I don't know why people buy the Figure Arts ones when Black Series are now killing it, like with this figure, and they really are. This is the best articulation I've seen on a Black Series figure. I was really thoroughly impressed. This guy would have been number 1 in my collection if I didn't personally think that this last one is my favourite. But if you don't own this one yet, oh my god. If you don't own any of this wave yet, buy the full wave. You will not be disappointed. Every one of these figures is insane. It just so happens that Mace Windu's one of my favourite Jedi, and they just did him absolutely perfectly. And they even included a robe, which they forgot to do with other Jedi. So yeah, that's why that guy's number 2. Okay, so at number 1, guys, what can I say? Captain Rex. I just really love this figure. Before I had any connection to the figure either, the character either, I saw people was getting this figure. I watched Rebels and Clone Wars later on, by the way. I've only caught up with them in the last year. But like before I even knew anything about this figure, I was seeing people opening the Comic Con version and stuff, and it was painful for me not to own it. And now I do own it. I don't know if you've seen it, but he just has a really good likeness. I don't know whether they used the same head sculpt as Django, but it feels like they didn't. He just looks really amazing under his mask there. His visor moves. I'm a sucker for anything with a removable helmet anyway. Comes with his little D-something blasters, I forgot, typically, when I'm filming. But yeah, I'm just a huge fan of Captain Rex now anyway. And this Black Series figure, oh my god. Like, I had the 3/4 inch version, but then I got this thing, and it is just insane. Even though I love both of them, yeah, this guy's just got a soft spot in my heart. I was so happy to buy him eventually. And I literally told myself, yeah, you're never going to have Captain Rex. Just stop telling yourself you'll find him one day, because your chances have passed. And then I found him in the Entertainer. So I was super happy. The Entertainer's been really good to me as far as Black Series go. So there you go, Entertainer. Shout out, especially the Grimsby store. Lee's awesome. All the staff are awesome in there anyway. But yeah, there you go. That's my top 10 list, guys. I would love to know what you think, as long as you're not going to like hate in the comments. I would love to know your opinions, so let me know in the comments. If you want to see like top 10 Stormtroopers or something, or troopers in general, let me know and I will get to that, and I will see you soon. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Peace.